Hello everybody, this is Jack and tonight we're going to cover the new updates from Lead Finder Jack and getting more clients with it. So before I do that, I kind of want to picture the real deal with Lead Finder Jack. And how many lead software have you bought a couple of years ago and still works? How many have you bought and still get supported? So to prove my point, I'm going to show you the revisions. I kind of go to that website now, and there's a website where you can download the Lead Finder Jack, and we keep the updates, the release version in this. So we started, of course, with version 1.1. That was years ago, and each time we make releases, we're not jumping from version 1 to version 2, version 3. Then we would be with version 50. Now we are with version 1.52. So today, I wanted to make a point that Lead Finder Jack still gets updated, because if you have a tool what interacts with Google and Google makes almost every week changes, your tool needs also get changed. Okay, the browser changed, the tools changed, the strategies change. So you have to have a tool what continues get updated, and we do that. So now back to Lead Finder Jack, and I wanted to give you a broad understanding. So there are the world local biz, Home Advisor, Adwords, and Unclaimed are more or less search engines like Google, Yahoo, Bing, Yelp. You kind of want to see that as a search engine. And a search engine you can use to find businesses to prospect. Does that make sense? So world, local biz, Home Advisor, AdWords, Unclaimed are kind of search engines. The simplest and the fastest one is local biz. Okay? You just enter a niche name, you target a city, and you select your country. Okay? It works in every country. You guys see that? How many countries there are? Many, correct? And it's quick. Anybody wants to see a proof? Niche and city and country? So what shall we do? Gold Coast, Australia. Mechanic is that, I don't know if there's a business mechanic. You can always try. Gold Coast, and then Australia. And then search. Okay, so now search for mechanics in Australia in the Gold Coast city. Okay, and it's kind of most instantly. So you see the company name, you get the website, the address, and the phone number. And if your prospecting method is to call those, you're already kind of done. You have that list at your fingertips. If you say, I want more information. I want to know if they have video on the website, if they have a WordPress team. To get, I want to send them an email. I want to know if the website is mobile responsive. Then you also perform a dig deep. Dig deep is you going to look further to find more information about those companies you just collected. So if you click on dig deep after the search is completed, so let me stop this for a second. There are search settings. You see this? You can click on it and a whole menu, pop-up menu pops up. And now you can define where you are interested in. Are you interested in the standard settings, or maybe you're just looking for reviews, or only mobile, or unclaimed, or you want to know all the domain page, or ultimate. So you want to kind of very deep. And if you see this, those checkboxes change. But you can also check your own preferences. You want to see where you can check where you want to search, which business directories you want to use, Manta, Yellow Pages, AngelList, Local Yahoo, Merchant Circle, Switchboard, Find the Company, Superpage, City Search, and Yellow Book. And then you can search if you want to find the domain, or if mobile responsive, or for reviews, or unclaimed. Okay, so there are a lot of settings you can do. So with this you can customize specifically what you are looking for. You can, let's say, I do mobile and I only want to know if my that website I found is mobile responsive. Okay, so you uncheck a lot. Okay, and then you give it a name. Okay, custom name. If see if I click now OK, custom. Okay, and then I give a name. Okay, so now if I opened it, you will see that ultimate. I don't need ultimate. Okay, that this only mobile is saved, and I can rename it and say only mobile. Okay, so if I do only mobile and I click OK, then the search type is only mobile, but you can customize to your like. Okay, standard is pretty good. So if you do standard and I do dig deep, then all kind of processes are going on to find more information. You know, how many, it shows how many email addresses are found, phone numbers, company name, the cities. If there's a video on the website, all kind of things are in process now to find more information about the company, and that takes time. Okay, so I'm not saying that doesn't take time, but that it does take time. Okay, so but the search of the companies, the local base, is pretty fast. Now if you go one step, how much time can we expect to take? Or about 1 minute per company or so, but it is 1,000 times faster than you can do manually. So the other step, the next step is world search. With world search, it's also a search engine where you can go after one niche in one city. That is kind of local based, correct? One city, one niche in one city. But you can also do all niches in one city. So if you don't care which niches you prospect. Let's say you want to do Google My Business. The niche doesn't matter. You just position yourself as an expert in that city. Then there is one niche in one state. You say I not only want to prospect roofers in my city. No, I want to prospect roofers in a state. Okay, and once maybe this takes so much time or you are out of credits for the day, this resume collection. You can stop a campaign, let's say, search one city in one city. Okay, search California. Then it downloads the latest niche list, which can take a little bit of time. So it does that once a month or so. Then I will start a niche and I will stop that. Okay, now it's downloading all those latest information. 1 second. So now the city. Next, let's say appliance repair with this good niche. So now actually there was not many appliance repair in that company. So let me do world search, back to start. One niche in one city. California, let me do Florida because I know those cities better. Then it downloads all the cities for Florida now. And now I'm going to select Orlando, correct? Let me do that, Orlando. I can filter here, Orlando. Have to click on the O. Orlando, where are you? Okay. And then I'll select appliance repair. And now get companies. Okay, now it collects all the appliance repair companies in Orlando. Let's say after a half hour or so you want to stop and you want to continue the next day. Okay, so that's all possible, correct? So let me collect some companies and then stop this. Okay, now I'm stopping this. Second, he wants to do a couple of more. Okay, so I have stopped this, and when I go back to start, I'm not going to do the same one niche, one city. I'm going to resume a collection. So you can load the last or a campaign, appliance were Orlando, click OK. So now I have load the campaign I want to resume and I click on resume. Does that make sense? So you don't need to start every time from scratch. You just resume where you left. Does that make sense? Lead Finder Jack doesn't show California has a population of 10. Why a large city not listed? We can say we can fix that. Just send a support ticket if a city is not included, and we can add that city. Okay. So now it's going to resume where it is left. Okay, so now we covered local biz as search engine. Now we covered world, which is kind of an automated, it can cover more niches and it can cover more cities at the same time with one click. And probably you need to do a resume to continue to complete the search. Okay, now the next search engine is Home Advisor. Home Advisor is a very popular uh, site. Let me try to Home Advisor. Okay, Home Advisor is a very popular site where a lot of companies are willing to pay Home Advisor for leads. What does that mean? If a company is willing to pay for leads, they are looking for clients. They have a marketing budget, and they are waiting also for you to deliver leads. What I found out is that most home advisor company even does not have a website. So they just don't have the time, and they use just home advisor as a quick fix for their business to generate leads. Most home advisor companies, most companies will pay home advisor, get leads, but the leads are also shared with other companies. So if you don't respond fast, then they are missing the boat and they still have to pay for that information. So what we did with Lead Finder Jack is, and it works only in the United States, is that we can collect those companies who are willing to pay home advisor for leads. So now you prospect companies who have a marketing budget, are interested in leads, are used to pay for it, have most of the time no website. They need your help for an online presence. They need your help to generate leads. And because they are used to pay for leads what get shared, you can position yourself that you deliver leads which are not shared. Will said, why is Google AdWords, YouTube AdWords and Facebook ads and the local team jack is better than Home Advisor in your opinion? Now Home Advisor send the leads to multiple companies. If you generate a lead, that is solely for them. That's a big thing, correct? Home Advisor asks big bucks to deliver those leads. So that it works in your advantage to earn also well with it. Does that make sense, Bill? So now we have covered 3 search engines. The local biz is one niche, one city. World search is kind of multiple cities and multiple niches. Home Advisor is targeting those businesses who are already spending money online and pay Home Advisor for it, while they are much rather have leads for themselves and not shared. Now the next big search engine is Adwords. I don't need to explain too much about what Adwords is. But this comes back to the same principle. Those companies already paying for leads. They have the process in place to handle more customers. If you go to the Adwords training, you figure out with my 10-step approach that Adwords management is not that hard to learn. Who has seen the latest Google profit numbers? Did you notice that they are significantly growing, Google? Do you know that Google makes the most money with paid advertising? Google will exist for the next 10 years. If you based your business on Google AdWords, you are in business. You have a real business. You know that that need also will exist in the coming years. Okay? You know that Google is always changing. You know that those local business owners don't have time and probably don't have the knowledge to learn managing their Google AdWords account well. Does that make sense? The question is more or less for you, from me. Why are you not offering Google AdWords management at this point? It's so obvious to me that this can be your core business. With Lead Finder Jack, AdWords model, and Home Advisor model, you have the holy grail to prospect those businesses who need help with paid advertising and have a marketing budget, are willing to pay for leads, and they only care about ROI. If you can run a good AdWords account which makes them money, saves their time, you are in business. Okay, so it's not, it's something, if you are a local marketer, you want to put that as one of your skill set, okay, in your pocket. So, okay, the AdWords search only shows up when you have the Sales Dynamite Jack package, okay? So you want, if you want the Sales Dynamite Jack package anyway. So, Unclaimed. How can I explain that? If a business is not listed on the first page of Google, do you agree that kind of virtually that business doesn't exist? Nobody will look at the second page, correct? If a business has the status unclaimed, Google has found that business, but is not sure if it really exists, so it will not show on the first page. Many businesses don't know how to claim that listing. They need your help. This is just so obvious. You can explain it to every business owner that they need to claim their listing. And you can help them with that. Maps, PhD, a Maps PhD expert is explaining and teaching you how to do that. Very simple. But that is with everything, correct? When you know it, when you have the right training, the right tools, everything is kind of simple. But those local business owners are too busy to educate themselves. They cannot be an expert in everything. That is where you come in play, correct? Your responsibility kind of is helping those local business owners. And local business owners are glad to pay you to claim their business, and if you offer ranking of that listing, if you are an expert in ranking that listing, they are willing to pay you monthly for it. Okay, I have several customers of that which paying me $197 per month per location, at least 12 months. Okay, so I have a contract for that. I shared it in the previous training. If you still need it, let me know. But that works over and over and over again. That is an easy sell. Now, I get this following question all the time. Jack, what happens if the business is not listing, if you don't get that business on the first page of Google? You know what the next step is? You know what the next step is? Adwords, correct? So if a business owner can't wait, or the competition is too hard to show that business on the first page of Google, the next step is Google AdWords. So you have the solution in place. Okay, you just deal with the situation, but you have the answers. That is basically it. Lead Finder Jack has 5 powerful search engines: the local biz, the world search, the home advisor, the AdWords, and the Unclaimed. Okay, so I charge for Google My Business listing also $197 per month. Now, can you do that the same? Do you know why I can do that? I don't care so much if I don't get that client. And recently, the last month, this attitude is helping me. Okay, so I only sign up new clients which pays me more than I used to charge them. Okay, so I charge them for the website monthly. I charge them for Google My Business monthly. I charge them for Google AdWords management monthly. Okay, and all adds up monthly. I didn't do that in the past, okay, but I do now. So I think it's depending where you're at, how confident how you are, how much trust in yourself you have. I think that kind of determines also the fees. And don't forget, if you can help that local business making money, they are willing to pay you. Okay, so you have to make it a win-win situation. Now the other menus are campaigns where you all kind of can show the detailed information. Then you have the company information where you can look up detailed information out of the company. A lot of things get saved if you want to dig in that. There's a search where it's kind of the dig deep, where it shows where it is while doing the search. And the next step is, next module is emails. And that is where we kind of get the most questions about. And that is about the mail server. We have built in a Lead Finder Jack mail server. You don't need to enter your own. It will work with the default Lead Finder Jack mail server. You can show your sender email. You just modify settings and you enter your your email and your name. That's it. You can also add your own mail server. Amazon is one of the best one, okay? If you select add mail server and you select Amazon, you is a button more information where you can download the setup instructions to set up the Amazon AWS mail server. Okay? Takes more work, it's not needed, but is a little bit better than our Lead Finder mail server. Okay? You don't need to use Amazon. No. You can just use the Lead Finder Jack mail server. Okay? So that is step number one, kind of. Now there are templates. You can create your own email template. There are tokens in it. Or you go to the library and you download one, video prospector, and there's already, if it was not downloaded, you can download it, and then you go to where is the video prospector, okay, and then you can modify it. And here on the right hand side you have all kind of tokens which you can use to customize that email. Do you agree that if you get a customized email, the perceived value is much higher? And one of the, I think one of the best email you can send is an image of the website, correct? An image of the website what looks like a video player. They click on that image and the link goes to your prospecting website. Now you have them on your website and now you want to convert them and convince them to use your service. Okay? So that is easy peasy, correct? You just select the email template, you customize to your like, you use tokens, and you set them out to the list. Because in the campaigns you can link that email template, where is it, the video prospector, to the email template, emails to send, okay, the email templates. You can also send multiple email templates. Let's say I sent one today and the second one I sent in 5 days. It's kind of an autoresponder, correct? Set up once and all the magic happen automatically. The Lead Finder Jack tool needs to get opened to send those emails. So that makes sense, correct? Now, let me cover some updates. So there's a new button in town, I would say. You see this? There's a new button, the right side of the drop-down box. You can say management. I want to new name for the company. So Boca Boca new webinar. Okay, and now that the campaign name is renamed. You can also say I have 10 campaigns and I want to put them in one. My drop-down box gets too long. Okay, now you can use the merge function, management merge. So you select the campaigns and you merge them, and I call them merge whatever, huh? Okay, now you merge the two campaigns. Now in the background he's busy to merge those campaigns. Okay, takes a little bit time, but that is going on now. Okay, so is there a way I can upload a list of emails? Yes, you can. Do you guys see under the drop down box there's an import function? Here you go through the menus to upload your email list. Best is to put that information in a CSV file, and here you can upload it to the campaign. Okay. So another change is, do you guys know that Adwords changed the ad structure? They call it the expanded ads. Now Google, the AdWords prospector not only collects which businesses are advertising on Google, he also tracks the position of that ad and also collects the real ad text. So that means if you want to use that in your email to customize that email with a token, you can emails, if I modify this, there's new token in town. You can use the AdWords rank token and you can use the AdWords ad token. So now you can say, hey, your ad was at position, I saw your ad on position ... 2 with the following ad, and I feel confident that I can help you. There is no way that you can play a video in the email box, okay? You can link it to a place where the video plays. Okay, now back to the AdWords. So let me ask you a question. When you receive an email, would you be willing to open an email what is more customized to you than a general email? Yes, correct. That is what Lead Finder Jack does with all those tokens. You can show an image of the website. You can show real stats. You can show the AdWords AdWords ad rank. You can show the real AdWords ad text. Wow! You know what that means? Somebody has put effort in it to analyze my online presence. I'm much more willing to respond to that than in general email. That is what all those token does. Okay? Now, Lead Finder Jack has become over the years a monster. It's so many features. There's not a lead collection tool similar with all those features. But it can become overwhelming, correct? That is how you feel? So much possible. So I'm pleased with Karen, which make those short, dedicated tutorials. So if you click on tutorials, you see this button and you can go to show tutorials, okay? And that opens a website where you have the short videos with all those modules in it about AdWords, Video Prospector, about WordPress site security. It checks if the website is built with WordPress and you can offer security service. About mail prospector, I had this question today a couple of times. Can I upload emails? There's a short tutorial for that. About unclaimed Google My Business listing, how to do that, what are the steps. Video prospector lead, that means you can send a customized email with an image of the website, and that image looks like the video player, and you link that video player image to your prospecting website. So your click rate is really high. Okay, it covers maps error. Okay, so maps error does mean the listing information on Google My Business is not the same as on the website. And as you know, if there's a difference, Google will penalize your ranking. They want to have everything equal, okay? Everything confirmed. Okay, there's a short video about Home Advisor, how to use a search engine and send emails, okay? There's a world search. Wow, that is a big monster, okay? You can do so much with world search and only a couple of clicks. There's a local bit for the quick search. You saw how quickly it was. It works in any niche. It works in any city, and it works in any country. Just a quick search of leads. Then you have the emailer, okay? How to send those emails. There's an emailer within Lead Finder Jack. We even provide a default email host, so you don't need to set up a third-party mail server, mail host. We do that for you. Okay? Then you can also export the results. Okay? If you want to use to have the leads exported, you can do that as well, and so much more. Okay? So you see, you have on your fingertips, you have those short tutorials. They take only a couple of minutes. That's all what is needed to learn that module within Lead Finder Jack. So it cannot get easier than this. Really, it cannot. Lead Finder Jack is built up with modules. You choose which servers, which search engine you want to use. Okay? You choose which niche and city you want to prospect. you choose to click on a button. Are created email lists able to be duplicated prior to sending? Yes. So let me cover that a little bit. So if you go to Lead Finder Jack, in settings, there's a setting from email multiple contact. You can say, I don't want that the same email get prospected the same week. So if they come up on multiple email lists, they're not getting the email because within a week they already received an email. Okay? There's so much more. What I'm telling you is kind of the above the hood. Okay? There's a lot of things beneath the hood, the engine. Okay? When you send an email, Lead Finder Jack checks is if that email is a real email. If that email doesn't make sense and it's not a real email, Lead Finder Jack is not going to try to send an email. And why is that? Because your mail host will get annoyed. They say, hey, you're sending so many emails which doesn't exist. I'm going to cancel you. So Lead Finder Jack helps you to keep your mail host in good standing. And it does it all automatic. Beneath the hood is a lot of technology. Now, I have to ask a little bit technical question. Do you know what proxies are? If you have used other lead finder tools, you know what proxies are, correct? And all those lead finder tools, they need proxies. And if you have dealt with proxies, you know what a pain it is. A proxy, like Lead Kahuna, needs proxies. That means that you pretend that your computer is not at your location. It is somewhere else. Okay? So you're not getting penalized. At least you try that you prospecting too much from one location. Okay? Doesn't work all the way. Those proxies, they work and they work not. There's a lot of, they cost a couple of dollars each per month, and you need about 5 or 10, and then you need to replace them. So there's a lot of management and pain involved in it. By my knowledge, Lead Finder Jack is the only tool that doesn't need proxies. It's the only tool that you don't get a problem with Home Advisor and with Google for Unclaimed, for sending emails. You don't need proxies. Okay? That's a big thing. If you have dealt with other lead finder tools, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay? So you want to, I don't know, John, there's too much text to read that, as you understand your question. So beneath, so you kind of only need to know those tutorials, okay, where what Karen has made in those short videos. I just wanted to give you some idea how much technology is behind it, okay, and it's built over the years. It's not something from the last month. It's not built in 3 months. Lead Finder Jack started in, I think, in 2010 or 2011. That is how long it exists, and it has a full-time programmer on it. Probably now the programmer is Eric. Okay, we continues updated. Okay, and that's also needed because everything changed. So if you want to remember something tonight, and it's pretty simple to remember to get you going, okay, that is this website where the tutorials are on. Those are short tutorials. What shows how Lead Finder Jack works. Yeah, if you come on the homepage, jackhopman.com, you go to training, and you click on Lead Finder Jack, you see all the short tutorials. They are divided in modules. That's all what you need to know. Okay? Karen is a prof in Lead Finder Jack. She knows exactly how it works. She's in daily contact with me and Eric if there is a specific question. So Raymond said, what you desire will happen. I remember that from last week, and I have it posted in my office. And that's really true, Raymond. It set your mind into the right direction. Okay? Patrick said, if we merge the campaigns, will it correct for multiple copies of customers? Yes, it will. So with that said, I really want to thank you guys' time. It's about 1 hour training. Lead Finder Jack get contains updated. It exists now for 6 years. It has, I don't know, I think more than 100 updates. It has powerful modules, search engines. You can look up for a quick niche in a specific city. You can look with one click for multiple niches and multiple cities. You can go over home advisor companies who are already paying for the leads. You can go after companies who are advertising on Google Adwords, and you want to become a Google Adwords manager as well. And you can go after unclaimed businesses, which is a no-brainer for each business. You don't need to convince that they need to have an unclaimed listing on Google. So so there's a possibility that they list on the first page of Google. And then with each service, you offer a solution. You offer a solution for website creation. You can offer a solution to create videos if they don't have a video on their website. You can offer a solution to make their website mobile responsive. You can offer a solution to run the AdWords campaign like a professional. You can offer a solution to rank higher in Google My Business. I hope you guys see the opportunity. There is so much out there that you can do. Now, just pick one, okay? You don't need to master all. Many of you guys don't need to learn anymore. Many of you guys just need to start executing. You just need to find clients which pays you for the service you already know. So I want to thank everybody for your time and hope you're taking action, because you have your tools at your fingertips and it is just a matter of using them. So thanks everybody, and I love you to see you next Tuesday 8 p.m. EST for the next training. Thank you so much.